Hey y'all, imagine this: you're dead tired, sprinting through an airport, your old backpack bouncing like it's got a mind of its own, and you're praying you don't miss the one flight that's your shot at a break in forever. That's where Sarah Miller was, a 26-year-old ER nurse from Chicago, her sneakers squeaking on the shiny terminal floor, heart racing as the clock ticked down to her budget flight to Miami. She'd been up all night saving lives in the chaos of Mercy General's ER, 14 hours of nonstop emergencies. No sleep, just coffee and grit holding her together. This trip? Her first vacation in 4 years, a chance to breathe after raising her kid sister, Lily, since their mom passed in a car wreck 3 years back. Sarah's life was hospital shifts, bills piling up, and making sure Lily, now 17, didn't feel the weight of the world like she did. But as she dodged travelers, squinting at her phone for Gate 12A, she took a wrong turn down a quiet hallway, straight into a moment that'd flip her life upside down. A slick attendant in a crisp suit stopped her, flashing a smile like she was expected. "Miss Carter? Right this way, we've been waiting." Sarah froze. "Carter?" She opened her mouth to correct him, but her head was pounding, her legs shaky from exhaustion, and before she knew it, her bag was whisked off her shoulder, and she was ushered onto a private jet. Plush leather seats, a bar stocked with bottles she'd never afford. This wasn't her world. She stood there, dumbfounded, as the door clicked shut and a man turned in his seat, his sharp green eyes locking onto hers. "You're not Emily Carter," he said, voice low, curious, not accusing. That was James Dalton, tech mogul, billionaire, a guy whose life screamed wealth and power Sarah had only seen in movies. "I'm Sarah Miller," she stammered, "and I'm pretty sure I'm on the wrong plane." James chuckled, standing, offering a hand. "Looks like you are." "I'm James. And I'm afraid we're already cleared for takeoff. You're headed to London with me." Sarah's stomach dropped. London? She was supposed to be sipping cheap margaritas in Miami with her best friend, Tara. Her phone buzzed. Tara, texting. "Where you at?" "We're boarding." Sarah's fingers fumbled a reply, but the jet's engines roared, and her world tilted as they climbed into the sky. She sank into a seat, clutching a glass of water James handed her, her scuffed sneakers looking ridiculous against the jet's polished floor. "I can't go to London," she whispered, thinking of Lily, her job, her life. James sat across from her, his calm voice cutting through her panic. "I'll get you back home as soon as we land, Sarah, I promise. But you look like you haven't slept in days. Just breathe." Something in his tone, steady but kind, made her pause. She looked at him, really looked, and saw a flicker of something familiar: grief, maybe, hiding behind his polished exterior. Turns out, James had just lost his sister, Claire, to a sudden illness. They talked, hesitantly at first, about lost Sarah's mom, James's sister, and in that quiet cabin, 30,000 feet up, two strangers found a thread of understanding. London hit Sarah like a dream she didn't belong in. Cobblestone streets, golden lamplight, a hotel lobby dripping with chandeliers. James had set her up in a suite at the Grand Meridian, insisting she rest before her flight home. But trouble followed like a bad shadow. Enter Victoria Langston, a socialite from James's world, all sharp cheekbones and sharper words. She cornered them in the lobby, her red dress screaming money, her eyes raking over Sarah like she was dirt. "James, really?" Victoria purred, voice dripping venom. "Slumming it with her? What's next? Charity galas and thrift store dresses." Sarah's face burned, her hands balling into fists, but before she could snap back, James stepped in, voice like steel. "Victoria, you don't get to talk to her like that. She's worth 10 of you." Victoria laughed, cold and cutting. "Enjoy your little fling, James. She'll never fit in our world." Sarah's chest tightened, old wounds of being judged for her job, her clothes, her skin ripping open. But James's hand on her shoulder, steady and warm, kept her grounded. "You're not an outsider, Sarah," he said later, his eyes fierce. "You belong wherever you choose to be." That night, in her too fancy hotel room, Sarah stared at London's twinkling skyline, torn between anger and a tiny spark of hope. James's kindness felt real, but could she trust it? The next morning, he showed up, casual in jeans, offering to show her London before her flight. They wandered through hidden bookshops and cozy cafes, James sharing stories of Claire, Sarah talking about Lily, their laughter easing the weight of the world. But Victoria wasn't done. She ambushed them outside a cafe, her voice loud enough to turn heads. "James, you're embarrassing yourself with this nobody," she sneered. Sarah's heart pounded, but this time, she stepped forward, voice steady. "I'm not here for his money, Victoria. I'm here because he sees me, not your shallow little world. If that's all you've got, I feel sorry for you." The crowd went quiet, Victoria's smirk faltering as she stormed off, heels clicking like a retreating army. James looked at Sarah, pride in his eyes, and for the first time, she felt like she could take on anything. Then, a call shattered it all. Lily's voice, frantic, sobbing through the phone. "Sarah, Tara's been in a car accident. She's in surgery, it's bad." Sarah's world spun. James didn't hesitate, he had his jet ready in an hour, flying her back to Chicago. On the flight, he held her hand. No words needed, just quiet strength. At the hospital, Sarah found Lily, pale and scared, and James worked his magic, getting updates from doctors when no one else could. Tara pulled through, barely, and Sarah, exhausted but fierce, stayed by her side, juggling shifts and worry. James didn't leave. He rented a place nearby, brought coffee every morning, even helped Lily with homework in their cramped apartment. One night, Victoria showed up at the hospital, her voice icy. "You're throwing away everything for her, James. This life? It's beneath you." He didn't flinch. "If this is beneath me, Victoria, then I don't want your world. I want hers." Sarah overheard, her heart swelling, doubts fading. She wasn't alone anymore. Weeks later, the media caught wind of their story. Headlines screamed, "Billionaire's new fling, Chicago nurse?" Comments tore into Sarah, her job, her background, her race. It hurt, deep, but James fought back. At a press conference, cameras flashing, he stood tall. "Sarah Miller is the strongest, most incredible woman I know. I won't let anyone tear her down for who she is or where she comes from. I love her, and that's all that matters." Sarah stepped up beside him, voice shaking but clear. "I've never been ashamed of who I am. Love doesn't care about money or status, it's about heart." The room went silent, then erupted in murmurs, some kind, some not, but they'd made their stand. Social media flipped, support pouring in, their story a spark for others fighting prejudice. Months later, under Chicago's starry sky, James handed Sarah a letter of full scholarship for Lily to Northwestern. Tears fell as Sarah hugged him, whispering, "You didn't just change my life, you changed hers." On that same jet where it all began, James knelt, a ring in hand. "Sarah, you're my home. Will you marry me?" Her yes was a promise, sealed with a kiss, Lily cheering when they landed. Their love, born from a mistake, had faced every storm and come out stronger. As they stood on their apartment balcony, city lights glowing, Sarah smiled. "We proved them wrong, didn't we?" James nodded, pulling her close. "And we'll keep proving it, together." So what do you think? Can love really take on the world's judgments and win? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this story if it hit you, and subscribe for more real, raw tales like this. Thanks for listening. See you next time.